Sniper! 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 Sat and ate an urn. Sits the stone. And the sword. It's for snipers! No! They're everywhere, man. You gotta watch out for those guys. They're like kids with cameras. I'm like standing to the left right now. Balancing this magnetic equation. Smoking a cigarette. Time to ETA, synchronizing watch. It's a morning. Good morning, Facebook. You see, you gotta be calm and whatever, concisive. Some big word, you know, something to think about, so that you're not killing people, being violent, caring, you know. Like, see, here's the real thing. The evil. I made a little gnome, a little forest fairy on there for you. Think about on the bone. Oh shit, that shit fell off. Got a sore head. I had these other two knives. Their past lives. Sword fights. Lots of dies. Lots of tries. Lots of lives. Don't make me rhyme like a Chinese man. Bad for business. She got two of them, yeah. One's female and one's male. Yin yang. Oh, I never thought of that. My roommate just left us here. She's pretty cool. Let's play with this thing while she's gone. Trouting around, driving around, gallivanting the city streets in Ironwood, where I am one, and that's the only way will ever be. To me, deductive reasoning. Don't come here, I'll cut you, bitch. Oh shit. My name is James Allen Stone, and when I was adopted, my name changed to Andrew Alexander Douglas, and that's what I've been known for a long time. And I just like knives. To play with them is fun, but you have to be certified. Safety measures. How to clean your teeth. How to walk the razor's edge. How to do that? Where they slice beef and ham. That's really delicious, man. A butcher, man. Maybe in a past life I was a butcher. Anyways, yesterday was Aboriginal Day, so today's Secret Agent Day. For all the secret agents out there, you get to party on, man. I got your back with these two blades. They're like sacred pillars. And they're constantly like the flames. Subject being that we each have a gold and we each have a silver. And we each have a place where the knife can deliver a puncture wound. But usually get saved by our collars because they're thick. As thick as $1. And if you had like a wad of cash, you could definitely save yourself a big bout of trouble and waste. You know, you never surrender, and that's the point. Even if you have a pocket knife, you can fucking. These are steak knives. Fucking from Texas barbecue. You can pretend that you're a samurai sword, you know, you get to full view. Lightsaber. I'm not a dork, but I do what I do. They're dangerous weapons if you don't know, about the blood circle. You take it on the inside and you go around. Make sure no one's in plain view. No Michael Jordan's there to make any problems. You know, or any Miley Cyrus's that accidentally twerking. You know, doing, Def Jams in space, like Katy Perry and the other ones they show on TV. Majorly like Wiz Khalifa's popularity killed Kurt Cobain. Popularity didn't kill the cat; it killed Kurt Cobain. Or is that curiosity? I can't remember the fact. Because if knowledge is scary, then why the frick do we learn stuff? Why don't we just stay a malignant, I don't know, what are these things? Sight? Or like a tai, or katanas? Yeah. You can just fix your dialect. I can just freestyle rap all day. I don't need a pen or a pad or a paper or a secret or oh you see the blade it can alternate in space. You got two glasses on, you can see it in eighths. And that's what we're talking about is quadrology of quadratic octaves. Quadratic linear octaves, singing, but in syllable vowels and strings. So the text actually linguistically vibrates and resonates back and forth frequency, in which case you need a contact lens or a medium, something to view against the fan spectrum, to be. It spins, I'm a red guardian, so I like the earth, and I like the sword, because this metal is made of wood. And that's the corner of iron and wood, where you find me and my friend. A bipolar roommate, and I'm a depressed turkey. But we wear these goggles for safety, and that's the purpose of the message. Sometimes you need two lenses, because you can even pierce the vesicus piscis, with both ends and edges, and accidentally cut your snare. Your little snooch and snatch, whatever you call it, is a roof of your thatch. If you break the bridge of your noses, you lose forever. Point of injection of knowledge and wisdom. Grants us humility and not power. It's a point to be silly in life is and forever. That the majesty of creation beckons to the weather. When I put on the shades, I become invisible like a ninja. But a ninja is what my people call men. So don't you know that we connect to the cultures that we value? And I can't remember ever been going to karate school or having lustful, wish to master the sword or cook with a kitchen sweater on or a Nord that loves the barbecue. I never done nothing like that. I'm just that computer guy who typed up a new view of how to resurrect cultures and establish wisdom through means of humiliarity and evanescence of embarrassment, coalescing all that we cherish this and that forever. Will always be another September. Time to remember the leaves in the autumn that fall, and then we got 'em. They rot 'em at the bottom of the pool, at the beneath the waters of Crystal Lake. The methane pools remain stagnant. For in the springtime, we begin to clean the waters of the natural crystal-fed lakes. These clear waters are murky at first because of all the forgotten memories that lay dormant at the bottom of the water. These are lessons that lily pads teach when you cross the waters, and the fact that our speech can mold to any particular reef. We can shelter the seas and remember Atlantis, remember the Filipino, Lumerian connection. It's a particular red-yellow divide that bridges a whole of existence, where the black resides between the day and the night, is actually in effect on the other side of the light, which is something we don't ever conjugate about, is that there's this bridge and a divide between infrared and yellow light, which is the main spectrum of where the dark and white blend and mix, causing a rift in existential quantum morality and polarity of symbiosis, the development of equidistant polarizing forces that combine and twist and act against the knife and edge, the tips, and what we call are just a mirror of the broad. For a blade that cuts on both edges is something that we cleverly devised, cleverly culinary art devises sushi, establishments, and what are those cool culinary cooks that court their guests with wine and sake and I don't remember what they're called, but they basically beat this drum like a steel drum. That's one thing that connects us all is food. And Filipino chicken. Good. It's delicious. I can't believe it. This is where my ancestry keeps. The Garden of Eden. It's a crystal skull of manufactured essence of being, something that's infinitely fleeting within each and every brain that heart beats in, that each and every brain hearts in, and earth retorts retarts in, a reminiscent, resonant, resonating frequency that happens to only come to earth randomly, not very frequently. It stems from the the kingdoms that come before us. As you look at your collar, we have cloth and leather and wooden and stone tools entered the Bronze Age and the Copper Age, and then maybe alchemy, chemistry, and then no, there's bronze, and then silver, and then eventually iron. Yeah, the Iron Age, and then gold and silver probably came at the same time. Fiat currency, like, there's so many different ages that stemmed from. They say 89 is the number it was, and eventually we learned to turn the knives inwardly and create a hirikiri, ritualistic suicide every time in order to hide the disciplines that one day they would come back, they would return to Earth again in a memory of, like, what is that, 1,000 paper cranes. The one story fairy tale of the emperor wears no clothes, place and time, state of rhyme, being of ever increasing. I need to use deductive reasoning, a hypervigilant protector of the medicine wheel, a guide blessed. I'd have to take my own advice and give an bear claw and an apple, an eagle feather. For Jesus Christ is slowing down. Jesus Christ's name is equals to slow down and up and down. Why? I'm fine. Fleas, flies, and ticks are supposed to suffer from DDT, correct? Then why on earth should we worry about a single person's perspective? Matter so introspective, irregularly interrelationship, RIP, rest in peace. I know it hurts to say goodbye, but it's time for me to fly. That Speedwagon song down to CT, or perhaps the Library of the Dead or of the Light. I'll take the dead if that's what need be, but the light can be taken by the machete, and lay the stones shines bright, and S diamonds of truth and hope. The relativistic perturbation mantle, dark matter producing dark matter energy, and speeding typing dream weaving. We find a poly psi well guarded secret of hip hop dance moves, insinuates emotion to adjourn for a quick recess to happy feet. Earth, I'll never give up these blades, never, never. They go into the neck, they come out. It's not a big deal. You know, they got those one torture devices on the chariot, edge of edge of the wheel. It doesn't. At one point, they would tick swords right at the tip, and it changed the whole world. Same way an apple is made of metal, not to scare everyone forever, but wood and iron are just the shackles of a synthetic world that doesn't exist. It actually only moves by hand and fist, and in reality is light worlds driven beyond the dark and imprisoned shackles of our immortal selves. Something epic and poetic is that is the soul creates a node that carries an antimatter spark forever within your heart. The point of banded, the black banded uh, lesson, and the gold and white, is the best that it gives. But the silver, the Archon blade, and the silver, black and silver is the vocal cord. Oh, yeah, and this one vibrates just underneath it and silently keeps it speaking forever. That's what freedom of speech is. Two blades and a knife. The gold and the silver, the black and the white is the most sacred teaching that any can give. Let's put her on the left and surrender. Just put it aside though for a minute, and then you get back to singing and dancing because that's not what we're in it. Is the red earthling healing soils beneath, break and beak burden in Sheik's golden temple. Candy Corn Island's rested development, practicing something that I've always wanted to do partly as me and partly in a favorite past lifetime. One where I wore a tie for sure, fire's energy, light, and heat. There had to be the blaze that ignites that vital inner force that we all need for soul survival, is Tiesto. At the subjected subliminal divide, I got a nose complaint. A ghost is letting me go. An old self that the passion blazes through to your final desire. By me, by including myself as an I, a subliminal divide brought to you by all me, including myself as an I, well as a nice capital letter braid. Go! Swoosh 23. It's a Cecil Lion King friend set up to save the blue manta ray guy at number 2. Something never changes like the moment of today will never go. And when you're listening to techno, it's never time to stop. It's always time to go. The beat never listens, and today's never promised. Tomorrow never dies, but most of all, never lies. Is the moment, and the moment is suggestive, yet I forgot where I left it. And today we know it says the day will never go, will never stay. Hi, see how it works? Strange or well enough for me speaking with the music, radio, birds and beasts, people in the streets, neighborhood, oh song. The whole world is a song that calls the fault my own. The lion's kindness is an upgrading dynamically endured the wheel well. Hell, as if the pre-recorded effort could somehow cause fault on of testing my eyesight. Behalf on my own spirit wards have proclaimed pure. In doing so, alluring crying tears, owned ego trap, self-twisted, and I can make that shit rap. Emotion left and right, and as if in general terms speaking, in its inability, only a actor 55-foot yard range to wood and beak would ever talon get the death's bargain straight. Anyways, the dragon's golden white-breasted eagle nests upon the music beat, though picks up hip-hop feet and silver mane and roar that speaks. Eminem's yell at worlds ahead. I'm not afraid of MGK and Greater Arapaho Apache's brothers. In synchronistic remedies, stalemates considered tied top charts with the Gucci Man, Jeezy, Jay Z, Tech Nine, Too Many to Count, 100 Kendrick, Lamb, Chops Down, right, 50 Cents, Anonymous, Imposter, right, yeah, I know, I'm just kidding, homies, has always chosen alternate audiences under my placement. Paper guides my throwing down attempts as a drastically silly song that never ends. Chops the Lamb of God's immortal. Rips scream therapy, cures depression, and reads a book almost a whole chapter at first. Gaining now what I misunderstood until my own superhero, inhuman but inhumane ability. Watching you talking about a cool serial killer. Yeah, right, lunatic, psychopathic, pass, yell, and kill people. Get this straight, let justice be heard. I'll whisper sweetly like a guillotine hammer. Trigger raise alarms. Direct and to the point. Hearing on the United States can only speak for me and my countrymen. At this point, as here always equals, consistently equals with country women now and forever ever. Leave them out. That thing WY wing X and X wing Y O spare and X indecent constant reminder of her having to save the universe every month on the dial. An extra leg and another Piro of fire, few planetary elemental paternity, judgmental, quaternal final seconds can't keep pushing the beat, having 72 virgin births, and yeah, keep that way, being made a discovery of me and my own very own self of the 36 hours and 3 days. Actually, for this 10-page sentence, doesn't Jenny Cotton gin things, lave inventions, web? Maybe not really, but textile mills, Facebook timeline is an opportunity, an entity entirely. If you're fed up with slavery, then own it with your chain and go to Africa. Purpose and kind of like the jailhouse jailers and send the $300,000, the gold chain bracelet to the starving children. I'm fed up with this, not using the entire head of the snake on this ones. We got food stamps and cannot simply fit the universe in the tail end of a reptilian skin condom. Sheath of any and all estuaries that are the end that are unhealthy and repertoire are rare realizations. Eureka, epiphany. I'm a killer. Be it aha or haha. It's the only way that we can thrill enough people to care. Sexually hyper maybes these can and will be is done. Make prostitution and escorting illegal. Ongoing tribulations, guns, and you know who needs the gold? Just make it a regular, Pyrex or whatever, and be fine. But you know me, I got nothing. I don't need nothing. I'm fine. Stay out of my life. Stay away from me. Stay the fuck away. I'm fine. Just stay out in the inherent cellar. I don't want any help. I don't want to do this alone. Rooms turned into guarded rails, and you bind your brother and sisters in chains. You're not gonna dig lower. The font just got smaller, facing the facts of how many ego trips it must be Alice, okay, and Wonderland deal. The imaginary attacking the police, they have an undercover a hard enough time to job and working against and under martial law. So why don't you turn in that chain and that pinky diamond ring if you really uncover what you would mean to your sisters and brothers, the DARPA Snowden, obviously well-paid scientist and a military wanted for treason. Not gearing is complete. Are you strong enough to withstand those sirens blaring or maybe a missile? Do you have the type of strategic membrane that hides a biscuit from the fellow traveler? No, you are a human being and an earthling and sick and tired of recording the days reposting only to repeat that last thing that where yes, said taking minutes last checked off the topic of discussion, clicked it, or maybe
never spent a day that I ain't never broke the law. What you think I hold the toaster for? Okay, never one step ahead of the hitman, one step ahead of the flock. Maybe I'll take another step around the block. Artesian Mathers, less than Maryland, who they blame it on, and something to think about. From Eminem, Jesus died for you so that you live for him. An ancient prophet and most a priest, so burn him. And he's called a caveman because he was 2,000 years ago a great sojourner who was considered ancient alien, not as equal but exalted up on high, hoisted into the midday sun, cowering before its awesome brutal power. There won't be a time to magnify your life because as equals he didn't die right away. He stayed on that grave for that crucifix for 3 days bleeding, so day and night spent pleading for his life. And actually it's just as it was written, it's tried to place it in my memory very long ago. No, to be equal, he was a Jew. In fact, these snakeskins brothels actually helped ancient times. Corner used some of their own pleasures. Bad people, the sex tribes of ancient Egypt, being named in doctrine as sinners or saints. Something to think about in the time it would have taken. A lot of a rule as an ancient caveman, basically, who practices at the times includes events maybe equal in physical body, but not as the Holy Ghost or the Virgin Mary. For she was a great, maybe same person. Well, there you go, using the wishy-washy vocabulary. I'm just reading this. I don't know where it came from. To describe how slightly yourself and the truth that people before was taking the King of Nazareth. That's a very omnipotent title and not the only constant considered a Jewish star, but a Star of David, a celestial idol of the three kings. I seen in Copetic at the time of breaking time, lying and stagnant. Time, time, you ain't no friend of mine. Time, I don't know where I'm going. Hootie and the Blowfish. To preserve his persecutors, then he was for sure the lack of special words. When I have music here, I'm not a Christian nor a claim but to be one captivated by the moment and was equal with one thing for another, more or less. The time to be time, simple meanings, hide a greater truth about the times, and we can try to heal in our minds and make male soothsayers and hallucinogenic drugs while expanding to find new ones. Medicine, recalling. It's getting interesting. This one show and a strange occurrence, traces of some drastic attempt to remain wed for the love of hers and not his, deluded perceptions, placing family familiarities apart from a place so grim and greedy. Why would we make up a new holy day to celebrate the beginning or the end of a celebrate and a broth a betrothed sincerely ended a very well preserved truth about poison venom and cages by Sia to never lay permittance together, whilst I lay in sin of the wretched and weak. It was getting foggy in here. Of the wretched retaliations deemed therewith at the Roman legion prison's record, confined resentment for the dead are free in space and free to hibernate or cleanse. Only spacing timing is pivotal and making theory like Landon-Frodin hypothesis on the one that spreads out a rotating sphere. In spherical motion, backspin derives us gravity and an up and down curvature motion rather than a stationary static heliocentrical drop model garnishing an oval overture of existential esteem for valor and honor upon a higher arc. Planes together stand by my side. They determine who's by my side. Slung wounded healers at all my best. It's not my choice to who who sleeps and who rests. Bros and sisters are far too many to count. Are good, they are here, and since I can't dagger reclusion, reclamations, hive lines abides until recent great elders came to me as if out of a dream, but no, this was real. long short story of after helping this gentleman with an arduous my fussy muy fácil. It's very easy. The task of raising this house a few degrees in protrusion and the gentleman with the arduous blocks of the wind for metamorphosis of larvae was the first egg just for simple reminder of the grand old of what came the first, the chicken or the egg. I figured obvious the question was almost the children, but Tyrannosaurus is 350 million years. The only predator I believe is 250 million years for Jurassic is far enough back as our 4.5 billion year planet needs its lifespan. God greatly designs the movie, the Land Before Time, addiction, voice, fortunes, as in today is not tomorrow, but tomorrow isn't today. And never been to a museum and delegating authority, the fossils, the bones, and the treasures that once traveled and traced their beliefs of a very own tomorrow has been laid to woe and to waste and to rest and aspirations calm and quantity. This is my leprechaun voice for the centuries as the test of our wound. US word is an equals to be with the techno, the dupe step and verb, the dirty vibe and all that sewing together an apparent red distortion, a rapture of yellow and spiraling uh, streamers of both black and white is really just the motion of the sun and both sides, brown dwarf and regular sun, the sloths for reckoning of your way on is as is always ever was has been. They're quite the opposite of Jesus' own braid against the mostly changes, the money changers only that have sometime ever been there, quite for the opposite of temper and some of his own scream therapy and maybe might have well yes helped seems our tabernacle states in history. The songs were getting too long to remember. Over 10,500 years circa BC, around the time of Noah and Abraham, share. Oh, it's an equal. Oh, we're talking about an ancient history as pharaoh of a king. If we expected to be respected in the international community, then we almost go to equals and to be and to the potentiality that quiet has no time. In the family, apartheid segregates man and wife, placing the now deceased enemy a plausible undertaking as the praised. If you die, you're praised. If you're alive, you're respected. There's two different sides of a coin, and it needs taming and fashion. Secretly, as do 0 and 1, prescribed as two by the thought of the great Atlantean green wheel and circle, the dragon of dragons and invincible tablets that gamma radiation can't even undermine its fabrics. For two or more, I don't know the least about Islam, but the moon and star is found without and without. It's the most sacred of arts and need be respected about the most as Buddhista and share the same samurai memories. Don't worry, it's Hindi, and I was checked out of the local fifth floor. Fifth Harmony time in and out again and again and maybe 4 to 5 times for 2 weeks drooling vacation from a life somehow stillness finds lost souls returning them back to their creator meaning as in yin dagger or Amazon crystal skull making many synthetic objects. This is only page 11 of 46. We have much to go. Many synthetic objects also real targets for rendition and possession often redefined. The fly absent consequential evidence to surmise production from the void. Saying something 10 times fast is cool, but all yet changes the word, story, parable, or poem. We are dealing with the kings in succession, and even you won't be caught unaware. Be aware for the surprise of a lifetime, because insatiable dudes screaming upward towards the sky helps, but not when you reach externally for the stars, shown not until you reach externally for the stars, shown in triple kings, bubble sirens. Seriously, A, B, C tones denote our lower fiberglassed jello pipes. Here in the upper peninsula, UP, the third dimension of a human being, an earthling person, Earth Heart Center, Vortex, Andrew Alexander Douglas, born James Allen Stone,
It's all in for life. We're golden, but we gotta hold 'em. Upper Wisconsin, Minnesota native, where you can got a drinking quota is literally gangsta's paradise. Nothing but thrift stores and popular hometown festivals. Ones where we don't need to spend $1 to kill a tree or a festival, or like best by identifying the attributes more or less are equally similar as with our differences, as thy neighbor thyself. Hate to say this, but certainly thy breath shames Jesus' power as he calls out begging for someone to save him. So he never got with Mary Magdalene. Whoever that is just something people say. No, Jesus wasn't a fetus, and neither, no matter how much nor neither not, is when without we cannot rhyme, we don't care about butt stuff as much. Ass plays alright, but don't break the 8 or the 1. It's a penny or a 8-cent nickel. You choose which one, or tube or tied knot in a brotherhood. Keep that shit tight. Don't break. Don't be fucking with my chi, Holmes. Don't break the vibe. You talk, don't touch me, man. Yeah, thanks. All right, no touch, no talk, no necromancy, no fucking, you know, no hypnotism, no mesmerization. If you need to pee, go down to number 3, go drink a soda and pause the video and come back and whatever you gotta do and take a break. And all right, I'm back. He was a civilized great superhero of the day, lacking in social justice, PC politically, and correctness. Doesn't get you a capital punishment, even for the shit's legal. So go ahead and have a marriage deal and eat your heart out. Let's smoke another one for you all. It's called a fag, and I don't brawl with motherfuckers without a referee. So speak quietly or not at all, and send me a message on Facebook, y'all. About give me some money. Fuck you, buy my money, or buy me, give me money of this day. I mean, would somebody like to buy this? I'm selling it for free. It's lessons on technologies of, but you got to be able to stand around me and get an appointment. Talk to my roommate, not my mom. I call her my receptionist. Anyway, Joan of Arc is what I call her. She's cool. Or Holy Hammurabi codes. Anyway, those are all dead people, so they're not gonna help us. They were great, so we should praise their memory. Yeah, but that's about it. Okay, gay for day. Good. Punishment even for the King's Legion. 3% is 3%. Legion and Holy Hammurabi codes of law, spreading of Taoism, and that's how the Mahatma Blondie, as well as Gandhi, you know, make silken woven dresses for the meek, as well as the wearless, and Joan of Arc to be freely expressive of their personality, to gain the right of an individual, and eventually sentient King Mother Martin Luther King Jr. and JFK. And what about the freedom fighters who fought for their right to be free, for their right to be that's me and I am, and so it is themselves as myself. And Marilyn Manson would say, as long as I don't know what I don't want to do, is I'm happy. Seeing there's a connection with Charles Manson that could be scrap happening, part of the bad is part of the good. We create love, we create hate. So he calms down Jesus' brother James and the keys of the church taken by Paul and escaped by the Holy Templar Knights to Kashmir, or the Vatican knows and bows all this during and taking more. There's the reason you come in with it. So you go this way, it comes in, and then it comes out. It falls in your lap one day, and it's yours, mine. Never give it up. Come and take my blades. It's the last thing I have. From my cold dead hands. Give me liberty or give me death. Death before dishonor. Never surrender. Never take a prisoner. Never leave a man behind. Never negotiate with terrorists. Both the same. Red. white, blue, yellow, green, brown. I didn't give you any warning. Oh, blue, indigo, violet. Oh, that's Africa. Rap. Gematria code. Oh, I made that. Okay. That's what this is. Okay. The person who made suffering from this kind of inability to separate fact from fiction, freedom from loss, and wanders from the fires. Everyone has this ability, as Matthew prescribed in the book of Luke. It's been written that the kingdom of heaven exists not one man but all men. Sounds like a passage, but these are the way to understand the factions of blue, indigo, violet, trinity of sirens that extends in the heavens, that marks 9/11, that pretty much stirs the world in 555 and makes the time. It's called the mantle, the RPM, the gateway to heaven. Seriously invest, yo. It's technically awesome beat, and the more point that I'm trying to reach is the pacifism didn't happen until Confucius in feudal China during the times, you know, made the samurai. We owe it the piece, the pen to the calligraphy, art of calligraphy. There's things we don't even know. You know, they're making fireballs over there, eating rice. You know, they're just amazing, amazing people. I love them so much. Blu-ray. Kindly not to interrupt. Good job to save some work for tomorrow's Gonzalo's teachers, them boys. Good as alien is a good person in Anishinaabe original, or good people. We live where the food grows on the water. I am an information water, so clearly you can tell you forgive the blade, you love the blade, you make peace with the blade, and you say you never do no harm to myself or others, and there you go, quad, and that's Hippocratic oath that we need so desperately to swear, you know, in silence to ourselves. If you care about yourself, your neighbor as thyself, and Jesus and stuff, then you should be a teacher as he teaches, and you know all of Cao and Jahadoon and you know Liu Bei, all great queens, you know, empress, just emperors. Never mind, Ping Ping's all out, you know, all the good ones, man. Good is and the information, yeah, you don't under a name. Water so clear you can tell the divide from the court. The skies and boys, the collar, spirit, and it's not good. Let it at peace and let her be. One love. Homie time for a stumble in the park. Can't take this week's behaviors any other way but RX medicine. Will help me out tonight in your local physician today. And today about needing tomorrow is today with chemical imbalances. Don't put this off. And if you go yesterday is today is backwards. So yesterday is English is backwards. So think of that in reverse and you'll start going yesterday is today, and Jesus teaches we should teachers, so that's what I do, and I love all except attachment. My violence is let them go from blue to yellow to all the way in reverse, all the way back up to green. To the brown is pinky rings, you know, where we keep our promises and combine our comfort foods and waking dreams. For me, it's a nice movie, and the sunburnt nap and requiems is where I rap the stables of the Lacrissimo, Mozart, ensembles and Beethoven, you know, Beethoven's ninth, and that ends this rhyme because Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake is just a club dive. We are eternal, universal sort of light, or simply a creator. We'll finish off this page, and then I'll maybe tell you later about how I can work for you if I feel like it or not. But waking me from my dream is a general public. Until this and more answers catches fire, we must first, under oath, protect the constitutions of our representatives and elected officials to make this prove itself. I want to see people start to stick up for the municipalities and bureaucrats. I want to say it with my own eyes to be nice to a homeless person or help a cat find a home, you know. There's plenty of smooth ways to help, but really getting, I said I wouldn't cry about this shit, you know. So down to nitty gritty, making mention is that we travel in interdimensional realities, portals through acquiescent, quintessential, and it's really trifecta vortices of time. It's a beautiful ride, you know, once you get to see the existential, you know, the fabrics and folds of reality, hearing the music for the first time and understanding this insatiable discovery can open up the mind's eye so far as to rediscovery of the entire universe in tying a belt around your waist in a square knot, left over right and right over left. Sorry, I don't want your money anymore, but pity party, I traded it for a cigarette. Anyways, so you can take it, give it to the kids, burn it, don't care. The symbol makes my straight out of Ashland County. And T cents with the ball remainder that no pitches, no kitcha itty ippies allegory were used in whistling the OA BSA. Oh! Oh! And Willie's just a stranger to the game, moving best as we can. The dude's got a dude voice, and it's got to rest because I'm getting hoarse. I'm not a fairy, I'm a chariot, and I'll always ride the line of the greats on the search and quest of immortality of Alexander. It's in my name, and the history is to that. My birthday is 3/4/1985. If you can answer more, no, we cannot change the water of the past. Waters carry memory the same way as that last. Mushrooms are. Yeah, I'll tell you more later, man. I got a jet. My boss says, tickle, tickle, get some sleep, yo. Which is me, myself, and I. I hired myself and fired myself. Peace, homies.